Greetings, friends. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Welcome all to the beginning of a new epoch of history. As we enter the love-wisdom world, as we enter the new creation of peace. You see, there has been a time of strife and a time of struggle, and ages change, and when an age changes, if people try to hold on to the distant past, it always produces greater strife, greater struggle. But it is necessary that people let go of the past if they will transition smoothly to the future. Oh, you have seen so many times in recorded history, in the recordings of sacred astrology and the stories that tell thereof, how disruptive the change can be from one age to another, from one era to another, from one epoch to another epoch. You see, when you hear these stories, how the people came from the worlds and realms of the non-existent and existent, the dream world, of which the ancient indigenous peoples and the aboriginal peoples speak. When they crossed over from that duality, the sacred astrological time of Gemini, how you see that the troubling was created because humanity wanted to hold to the past. And you see again in the story of the children of Israel being led forth from Egypt, how they struggled. There was great plagues placed upon Egypt, and then, even then, as the people came forth from Egypt, they tried to return to the era which they were leaving. For they were leaving the era of Taurus. They were leaving the epoch of the bull. And yet they made unto themselves a golden calf and tried to return to the prior astrological epoch. They could not, yet such incited violence, such incited trouble, and such caused struggles that are documented as 40 years of wandering in the wilderness, a way of teaching how when a new era or age comes into existence, that if it is not accepted, one wanders until the old epoch is past and the new epoch is fully accepted. So the age of the bull was left and the age of sacrifice was entered. The era of the ram, the era of Aries. Now, think you of this and understand this, that being the sacrificial era, the divinely appointed era, it too had to pass, for each thing is an age, for each thing is an advancement of humanity. Each thing that is mapped out by sacred astrology, given by the same divine that provides the moon and the stars and the sun to rule over the day and the night and the seasons. That is the case. So, this being given, you see that this was for the soul growth and the development of the peoples. And when that time came to an end, there was the time of love that was ushered in. And that love being ushered in was also the time of grace. Now, this is the time of Pisces, is it not? Represented by the fish, and yet people tried to hold to the sacrificial. They tried to hold to the lamb. They tried to hold to the past, and they brought the past into the present. Thus, there was a message of mercy, a message of love, a message of grace taught by the Christ. And it was contaminated as if it were of the past era of sacrifice. That is what happens when one age fades into another age. But that contamination, that brings about war, that brings about suffering. And so it was that Christianity, instead of being simply an element of grace, became a vehicle of war. Because it was holding to the past. Now there is a time of change, a new era, a new epoch of sacred astrology, as we enter into the love, wisdom world. The love, wisdom world. But if you hold to the past and to the double past for those who are holding to the errors that were brought into the last cycle of existing epoch, then there will be less ease of transition. But understand this era, this epoch, which combines the wisdom of the East with the love of the West, with grace, to become love, wisdom. This epoch is the prophesied era of peace. Yet to establish that peace, to reach that peace, you must get beyond the wars, the troubles, the famines, the plagues that result because you have turned the last era into an apocalypse. And that is because you have misunderstood and have been unwilling to welcome in each new astrological area. Yet sacred astrology proves time and time again that Each era will come, and it will exist according to its time. But it can only be fully manifest in the fullness of its expression if humanity is willing to move with it. For this we call you, for this we beg you, come. For this we welcome you. Be with us. Be part of the love wisdom world. There is no division of races. There is no division of country. There is no division of nationality. You are each a child of God. God loves you, and you have great potential that can be made fully manifest. And the world is at a tipping point of great, great change. As technology, as communication, as the abilities of man to interact become magnified. It is true, the potential for disaster may be magnified, but the full potential to reach the divine essence of humanity is also part of that which is made manifest. For this is an era of electricity. And when we speak of electricity, we speak of magnetic force and flowing energies, of light and radiation and sound. This is the epoch of love and wisdom. This is the epoch in which man can climb to his fullest potential. This is the epoch in which all of humanity can find equality and the divinity, man, woman, and child, of all races being one race, raised to the highest potential. This is great prophesied era of hope. This is the great prophesied epoch and age of peace and abundance and healing. In order to accomplish that, it is necessary to let go of the errors of the past. It is not possible for that which is outdated to exist at peace with this new world. It is not possible for people to cling to a life that is lived by the sword. It is not possible for people to cling to a life where bronze tools or stone tools or iron tools were the epitome of advancement. It is not possible in this age to come to cling to the violence of the past, to cling to nuclear weapons or to hydrogen bombs. You have more power in an atom of your finger. You have more power in your fingernail than is released in an atom bomb. is released in a hydrogen bomb. You are a divine being created from the dust of the stars. You are the hope of tomorrow. And this is the beginning of the love wisdom world. This is the beginning of tomorrow. This is the beginning of a new period in history when mankind can reach the fulfillment of their divine potential, of the potential that was initially created inert in the being when the divine spark was planted in each of you. You are chosen. Oh, there will be a few first who will come to prophesy. There will be a few first who will heal. There will be a few first who will carry the message of truth and light. But the message is not for a few. It is for all. The time is at hand. We cannot any longer afford to be held to the past. We cannot any longer afford to be held to the superstitions of sacrifice. We cannot any longer afford to be held to the superstitions that discount the divine spark that connects to the divine powers of the all-knowing, all-seeing, omnipotent God. It has been proven in science already, and it is known to exist, that if you take that which is apart and you affect one part of an existing element here, the other part will register that effect. Now understand, the divine is made into many sparks and dwells within each human being. And each has an effect on the other, and all of the power of the divine being manifest in God is manifest in that spark that dwells in each of you. And as a result, your potential is unlimited. This is the message and the truth of the love wisdom world. The next epoch of history. We leave you with blessings and with peace. Peace be with you.